coming to you live at Mardi Gras. There's beads everywhere. There's beads, there's puke, there's poop, there's cum, there's blood, there's guts. We're in New Orleans. Are we there?
Well, we are, we were, we was, we is. However it goes. Welcome back to Accidentally Fasting, the podcast where beads don't matter and you flash anybody who cares about whatever. So this week's episode is about Mardi Gras because it's one of the greatest holidays that could ever be. And for those of you who don't know what Mardi Gras is, it's a fucking holiday. Get with it. Okay, there we are. So we just spent Saturday through Tuesday in New Orleans, Louisiana, and staying downtown, hanging out in the French Quarter, drinking and partying and stuff like that. So we're just kind of do a recap of that shit because we had a lot of fun. It was a fucking blast, and we just kind of wanted to share our experience of down home, southern Louisiana, under the bayou and all that shit.
And this was our second Mardi Gras, so...
Yeah, been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
I think we were a little bit more experienced, but I think it would have been fun to do this after our first experience.
Yeah, this one was way more wild. We got way more bourbon-faced on Shit Street this time.
We sure did.
Yeah. So if y'all don't know, the French Quarter in New Orleans is where they celebrate every year, down Canal Street, which splits the French Quarter and downtown. They come up St. Charles in their big-ass fucking parades. They're not like parades you have down home wherever. I had never seen a parade like this before our first Mardi Gras. Yeah,
I thought parades were just like, you know, horsies and little girls walking around with cheerleading outfits and batons, but this is like...
And those the guys with the fezzes and the little mini prowlers that swerve around in the go-karts on the street and throw out little Tootsie Rolls.
If you're here in New Mexico, just like a bunch of lowriders and loud music playing.
Which is still fun. The Day of the Dead parade's cool, but nothing is like a Mardi Gras parade. Bacchus, Endymion, Thought, like all that shit. They have some amazing fucking parades. They're like full-on 100-foot floats. They've got ones from the 70s. My favorite was Live and Let Die. What was your favorite, babe?
Dolly Parton's my favorite, but I didn't get to see her this year.
Oh, yeah, that was a bummer. I think we saw her on TV from the hotel when we were like super hungover. So we got into town on Saturday. And we went straight to the Quarter, I think. Oh no, we went to Walk-Ons.
Are you going to talk about the taxi driver who just like pushed us out of the taxi and then we almost got trampled on and we had all our luggage?
Totally forgot about that. Yeah. So yeah, we checked Uber. It was like $65 and I was like, holy shit, the taxi was going to be $45 for three of us. So we got a taxi and he dropped us off like probably a mile away from our hotel because the parade route that night, I forget what parade it was, but it passed like right across where we needed to be. So he was kind of just like, good luck, have fun, there you go. And we had our little bags with the wheels on them and we were pulling, I mean, everybody did though. Like there were people stranded on the wrong side of the parade route, like everywhere. But so we had to walk up and find a place to cross when the parade stopped and like follow these people through the parade and all this stuff with our luggage and be silly. And so we finally made it to our hotel, dropped our shit off, went to this place called Walk-Ons, which is like the Chili's of downtown New Orleans.
No, it's the Applebee's.
The Applebee's.
You gotta keep up the...
Local, maybe local.
I think it is local.
Likely local, possibly not local, New Orleans Applebee's.
But damn, it sure is good.
They have this shit there. First thing we did the
Krispy Kreme bread pudding.
Yeah, that was dessert, but we started with the fried alligator.
Oh yeah, shit, that shit's delicious.
And the bacon wrapped, deep fried, cheese stuffed shrimp. And then we had catfish atchafalaya, and then we did the Krispy Kreme bread pudding, which is like a god among desserts.
So if you're getting the gist of what we did on this trip, we just ate a shit ton. My little tum-tum still is like expansive and hurts so much. So,
but that's what it's all about, is hedonism and excess. That's what that holiday is.
Tuesday, yeah.
So we ate a fuck ton of really good fucking deep fried southern food. And we drank a fuck ton. Because Saturday we went to what used to be Jack's Brewing Company, but is now Landry's, which is kind of a bummer. But
it's the best darn Landry's you could ever go to, though.
Yeah, and I was drinking Cane Break on the waterfront in the Quarter in downtown at Voodoo 2, where that band was playing, and I would name that band, But they were dicks to me when I asked them where to get their album.
They were, you know what? Their music was good though.
Yeah, they were like southern punk-ish, country punk.
Yeah, there was a lot of middle-aged people there. Like,
yeah,
it kind of reminded me of like a Jimmy Buffett type punk band or something.
It was, yeah. It was kind of like Jimmy Buffett, no balls shaved punk band. But it was cool. It was good music, Fuck in My Truck, or Let's Go Fuck in My Truck, or whatever. And it kind of reminded me of God Overall Texas. Can you quack? Can you quack like a duck?
Man, I wish it was that band.
Because this guy was all, let's go fuck in my truck. Oh.
You're going to get a license violation anyways.
Well, because, so they were really good, and the guy's like, hey, you pick up our album wherever. So I went up to him when they took a break, and I was like, yo, that was sick. Where can I get your album? And they were all, you mean our merch table? And I was like, yeah, sure. And the guy's like, it's called the internet, bro. And I was like, oh, don't fucking tell me that shit,
damn, dude, there's
douchebag.
only 5 people. It's fucking Mardi Gras, and there's only 5 people in the audience to see you. Like, come on.
Right, that was like the deadest
but
bar.
They were supposedly, watch them be super famous. They were supposedly on MTV and shit in the 90s, so they probably have some sort of,
that was the other guy.
No.
Oh, well, whatever. I mean,
hey, it was a chill place. So yeah, basically when you drink at sea level, when you're used to, I think we've talked about this before, you're used to drinking, 6,000 feet. It's quite a difference, and especially if you're eating a lot, I mean, you're just not gonna.
Yeah, this elevation. So we're at about 6,000 feet or something like that. It depends where you are in Albuquerque, but the thing that happens is there's less oxygen in the air, so it takes you 6 months to acclimate or something like that. But when you travel to sea level, you get this like rush of oxygen in your blood, and I usually have a lot of energy, but what really fucking happens is you can't get drunk. Like even going to Las Vegas the first time we were there, and it happened the first night in Louisiana this time, I drank a fuck ton and just instantly got a hangover. Like I was buzzed, I never got drunk, and then boom, I got hungover. And I was like, motherfucker, like again? So that happens when you're at high elevation.
Yes, exactly. And the other thing, walking at sea level, is we walked 11 miles per day. Which was exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty
like
sweet. I love walking on
couldn't, yeah, but it's like different. If I walk in Albuquerque, I'm winded after like 5 steps,
Yeah. So let's see. So that was our Saturday. So Sunday, I think, was pretty mellow. We walked around the quarter. I don't think we did anything that impressive. We kind of just did the same shit each day. But we went to the Bacchus. I think the Bacchus parade was Saturday.
That was Sunday.
Sunday, yeah, that's right. Sorry,
But
that's what I
let's
meant.
talk about the weather, though.
Oh, the weather was fine until it got cold and shitty.
So the first day, sorry to be a boring simpleton, but the first day that we were there, the weather was amazing. I was so sad because we got in later, and we were already tired from traveling. So no, never mind. We stayed out till 3 a.m. that day, right?
Yeah, Sunday was the day we were tired. But
so it was so nice, and then the next day. It was really nice during the day, and all of a sudden it just started raining a lot while we were at good old Landry's. So we're like, okay, well, wait till the rain ends. And so we finally do, and it's nice, and then bam, like the coldest fucking wind ever. And of course I didn't bring enough clothes. I kept thinking, oh, it's gonna be humid, because the last time we went, it said it was gonna be like rainy and cold and shit, and then ended up being fine. So I was just like, Mr. Weather, whatever.
Yeah, the weather was kind of a bummer, but
no, it was awful, as I didn't get to enjoy the parades as much. But I'm kind of a baby when it comes to like discomforting weather. Unless, if I had a big old, some of those people were sporting like really fucking warm king costumes and stuff. Like I would have been fine with that. But
well, so you did good on the Bacchus parade because we were standing outside Empire State Deli.
Because we were drinking out of that mysterious lady's Jameson bottle.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like we found a spot super early outside of Empire State Deli, which has a pretty good Reuben. But we went.
And
we found
Jello shots.
Yeah, but that was just for that party though, I think. But so it's on St. Charles, I think, probably. That's where the parade route goes. Pretty sure. But so we found a fire hydrant. We were standing in front of it, and so the big thing with New Orleans is like, there's parade etiquette. Like you don't bring your fucking chairs and block off areas with tarps and bring your ladders so people can't see and all this shit. So we were behind some people with chairs who had like bled into the street. And it was like one lady and 2 kids or whatever, and she started talking to my dad at that parade, and then she turned to us and was talking to us, and then she was like, come into my area. And it was stupid because there's like 100 people behind us, but she's got this little 5-foot area blocked off with her chairs, and she's like only allowing like people that she deems
I felt pretty
fit.
elite though.
Yeah, but that's fucked up, I think. Like, I mean, I don't think people should be doing that either. I agree with a lot of people who say that, like, the Chads and Ladder Lauras, as they call them on r/New Orleans, like, those are fucked up people. But, so we got a little bit of that, and it was cool because it was a really good spot. There were really good throws. I got a lot of good Bacchus beads.
Well, there was a really, really annoying fucking lady. She, like, was dressed in, like, a tank top or some shit. And I think she was talking about her titties. She kept saying that they were real and all this stuff. And so she was like, there's little high school marching bands that keep walking by. So she was just flirting with all the dudes, and they're all like 16 years old. And this lady's like 50 or something. And then I guess she just started crying. Like one of the police officers got mad because she was publicly intoxicated. She's crying, she's laughing, she's crying. But you know, for me, she was trying to be so outrageous. And then so I asked her, hey, is there a strip club float? And she just gave me the dirtiest look and got so mad that I was like trying to match her level. But I wanted to see what she was gonna do. You ain't the only big titty lady that can talk, yo.
Yeah, well, and she was super annoying too, but I mean, that's kind of how people get there. But you know, I think we should do a Mardi Gras pro tips right now. First pro tip, if you're gonna carry a bottle of whiskey, and this will be relevant later in the podcast, but if you're gonna carry a bottle of whiskey with you, only have like another beer or whatever, because shit gets fucking turned.
Yeah, don't proceed to buy another one.
Yeah, but so the other thing is, even if you're not going to the French Quarter in Bourbon Street, but especially Bourbon Street, bring shoes that you're gonna throw away. Bring parade beaters.
Yeah, I bought $15 shoes, and you'll hear later, but I was very excited that I did that.
Yeah. And my shoes made it out alive, which is pretty cool. I was not expecting that.
Well, I've been smelling mine constantly. I did wear sandals, and I keep smelling them. I've been washing them once a day, and they're smelling pretty tight.
And that's cool, yeah. So the reason for that, I guess, now that we're talking about smelling shoes, is that basically on Bourbon Street and elsewhere, people will like shit, piss, vomit, bleed, whatever in the street, and it smells like fucking like hell. Like, I mean, I don't know if I can describe the smell. When you get off the plane in New Orleans, it smells like maybe moldy or whatever. But when you get to Bourbon Street, it smells like fucking... Well, plus there's like seafood and all kinds of shit mixed in with it, like raw seafood.
People that eat because his dad and him love to eat, you know, on the restaurants on Bourbon Street, and I just would gag. I can't do it. Like, one walk on there, I would have to recover my, you know, sense of smell for at least 3 hours. Like,
yeah, but shout out to Brunswick, Georgia. Thanks for having a paper factory. I lived there for a year and a half.
Yeah, that's why you guys are so desensitized to it. I'm from the most beautiful heavenly spot in Ohio where it smells like beautiful perfume.
Yeah, cherries and shit. So yeah, so bring extra shoes, or bring shoes you're gonna throw away, and then don't overdo the beers that you drink, because when we were standing there, a different lady named Mel, who disappeared into the night, she was like, I just got off 14 hours of work and I came here to see Bacchus and that's it. And she had a bottle of Jameson and a 40 of PBR, and she shared that with us, and that was really cool. So that was Sunday. So Monday morning, of course, I'm like, hey, that was a great idea. Let's get a bottle of Makers. So we started out by having a couple Bloody Marys and mimosas at Tackle Box, which was not...
No, that was
Oh, you're
Tuesday.
Right. Tackle Box was Tuesday.
We went to
Galliers or whatever.
Yeah.
And those guys were good. Charbroiled oysters.
I love them.
Shit.
I got a salad there because I was trying to watch my figure.
Although I think that Royals had the best charbroiled oysters, and there was somebody else we went to that had really
even
good raw
Landry's
oysters.
had really good fucking charbroiled.
Landry's had really good charbroiled oysters because they had
they're called barbecue oysters.
They had the cool dish that collected all the oystery like spiced butter and shit, and then you got crostinis and bread and shit to mop it up with, and like that was fucking legit. And that's where we had the fucking Hurricane, Swamp Waters, whatever punches, and more Canebrake and a Beta Amber. which...
That was when we had that bottle, too?
No, that was
But that was before.
That was the rainy day.
Oh, yeah.
So that was Sunday or whatever when we did that.
Okay.
But when we got the bottle, so we went out that morning and we ate at Galliers or whatever it's called. And then, because everything's weird. It's weird going from a place that speaks predominantly Spanish or whatever to a place that like has the French influence.
But it has a lot of Spanish influence as well, so I think
that's true. Yeah, reading those historical plaques on Tuesday, we did get a lot of that. So, and we're gonna post a short behind the scenes video too, kind of like Denver, where we just kind of showcase what we did, like walking around the city, having stupid fun.
So my issue, I think I've talked about this, is I'm allergic to wild turkey. Like, I was feeling a little cocky, and they have, on Bourbon Street, they have these bars where you can get, I mean, everywhere, probably in New Orleans, but you can get these huge ass, like, glasses or cups, to-go cups of, you know, I got Diet Coke and wild turkey. It's my favorite drink. And so I don't know how many shots are in there. And now it's to the point where I can just instantly feel that rash coming. And it's like little needles throughout my body. But of course I just was like, okay, I'll just get drunk more. I just won't drink wild turkey. Well, no, the next day I was, dying.
And that was what? That was Sunday too? When it was all rainy and stuff?
No, that was Monday. That was why we got so...
Really fucked up. So yeah, because Monday we were walking around. We were going to go to the Crew of the Red Bean Parade, and we didn't because we went further. We went past the quarter. We walked all the way down Bourbon, ended up in some neighborhood, bought the bottle of Makers and some voodoo chips, and then
you went in the porta potty.
Yeah, there was a porta potty. Then we walked to the cemetery, and we couldn't get in because we didn't have a tour guide. So we walked around the garden of that Louis Armstrong school.
That was really cool. Pretty.
So then I think I got super fucked up. I think we went to Landry's after that too, but I don't remember. Because I was carrying the bottle of Makers, and then we went somewhere and had some
we
beer.
went to Landry's again. I think we went to Cafe du Monde after that, then BB King.
Oh yeah, Cafe du Monde was nice. Even though like it's kind of like one of those places that is really hard to deal with because you got to stand in line for so fucking long. Like their beignets are good and their coffee is really good, but you wait a long time. And then, of course, because my dad loves to fucking do this to me, there's some people walking down Decatur and they're all dressed up and he's like, come get a picture with us. And they're like, sure, that'll be $5, please. And anyway, and he totally missed that because he'd been drinking too. And then, you know, they're like, actually, that'll really be $5. And he was like, okay, see ya. And he ran off, which he did to me last time we were in Las Vegas.
And I believe you posted the picture of the people on our accidentally. And hey, that was $10. You guys better enjoy that.
Yeah, so I had
charge
to pay,
you guys.
Well, I mean, whatever. Like, 'cause you can see the picture that we were charged for, but it was $5 for us and $5 for my dad, and I got a lot of pictures, but I don't think it was worth $10. But that's what happens, like, you know. And also, you got to keep an eye out while you're walking down Decatur or whatever for the folks that say, "Those are some nice shoes. I bet you I can tell you where you got them." Because you got them on your feet and you argue with them for a little bit and then you get your pockets picked and all this shit. So that's a nice little trick that they got going on. But you basically, for those guys, you just say happy Mardi Gras and move on. But so we ended up at BB King's restaurant after a while, and which was a cool little place. It's kind of like a House of Blues.
Yeah, but you were too drunk and grumpy at this point because there was this cool guy. I don't know who he was, but he was a winner of The Voice or some shit. He was like playing music and I don't know, what was he singing? Oh, he was singing Allman Brothers and stuff. Like,
yeah.
That's a Doobie Brothers.
I kind of remember that guy, but I don't know. And that point, that was when I got super trashed.
Yeah, and if you followed me on Instagram, I Enjoy Sneezing, you would see that this is where my Instagram story was getting progressively more questionable. Like, I was in the bathroom, like, taking the phone, like, down underneath my butt cheek and, like, saying, I'm getting sick and all this stupid shit. And then I woke up the next morning and I was like, what the fuck?
Wow, I missed that. Yeah, so I got super drunk and we left that place. And for some reason, we decided to split up with my dad and his friend.
Well, there were two dancing dinosaurs, dressed up dinosaurs, and we were dancing with them. At least I was. And then, your dad just, like, I don't think he was that interested in it. So we were there for a while, and then the angry Christian people came, and that's when you offered them a sip of your...
a nip of the hair of the dog that bit you.
Yeah.
And then, so we ended up at Two Sisters, which is another cool place there, which I forget the full name of that place.
Well, he's forgetting all the funny stories. So then, before we get to Two Sisters, there's this, I think he was dancing to, I don't remember what song, Backing It Up by Cardi B and whoever that else was. And then there was this hype man. It was just some random guy outside of a bar. There was this hype man just like blowing a whistle on every beat. And then so Alex is just like standing in between them, like ruining their aesthetic, smoking a cigarette with his bottle all fucked up. I don't know. It was just the funniest thing because I was like I was okay. I would say I wasn't that drunk. I was like buzzed. I was just like, fucking laughing. But yeah, so then we end up at Two Sisters.
Where I had a bunch of Pim's cups, which were fucking phenomenal there. The guy, Zach, at Two Sisters was a great bartender. And there was some old dude there who was like, you gotta try the turtle soup. It's the best meal you ever have in your life.
He was sipping the soup just like real small sips. Like.
Yeah, so then I got some soup and he wasn't fucking shitting me. Dude, that soup, like, I was super drunk. I was still drinking Pim's cups at Two Sisters. And then I ate a cup of turtle soup and I became half sober. And I was like, Zach, I need another cup of this turtle soup. And then I became fully sober. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck it is about turtle or like what you put in the soup, but that's fucking legit.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a placebo.
It could have been, but I don't think I could have like placeboed myself into being that sober.
So I had 3 cups of espresso there. I didn't even drink at that point.
Oh yeah, I didn't remember that. But then we hung out and talked to some cool dudes there. They were going to the Bayou Beer Garden. And we were like, yeah, we'll see you there. Have fun, guys. And they were like, yeah, you guys have fun too. And then we ended up not going. We
ended up dancing to another person playing music.
Yeah, he was outside playing guitar really cool.
He was playing 24, wait, what is it called? 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars.
So go ahead.
So yeah, we're dancing and stuff. We're getting our groove thing on. And then we end up running into his dad, lo and behold. And then we walk to the carousel. The rest is history. At this point, I'm not glorifying this. I mean, I don't think like drinking excessively is that cool. We're just talking about our party time, so don't take it as like you need to do this.
And this may or may not be the truth of exactly what happened. But, so we went to the carousel.
I was telling the story.
Go ahead.
So we're at, okay, I just wanted to say that. At this point, I don't remember much. Except I don't know if I drank anything. I just remember continuously sipping out of that Dewar's bottle. We still had that.
Well, no, we finished the Makers, and somewhere I bought a Dewar's. That was like twice the size of the Makers.
Oh, that's where we got the king cake.
Oh, Rouse's.
Yes.
Yeah, which
is badass, dude.
I mean, I was reading something about, speaking of a little interjection into our Monday, but I was reading something about this on like the Mardi Gras or the New Orleans subreddit. Everybody's kind of pissed because the king cake is, if you don't know, it's kind of like challah bread or whatever. It's braided bread that's put in a sort of an oval shape, and they put like frosting and sprinkles that are yellow and purple and green, the colors of Mardi Gras. And then there's a little plastic baby. And if you get the piece with the baby in it, then you got to buy the next king cake or whatever. And it's like luck or something like that. But so it's this lady that was hoarding her spot on Sunday night was like, you got to go to Rouse's, buy a bottle of liquor, and then you got to get a cheesecake king cake, whatever that is.
Cream cheese filled king cake.
Yeah. So, and she was like, they got everything. So we went to Rouse's drunkenly at some point on Monday. I think it was on the way to Landry's. That's when we went to, because we ate the king cake and my dad gave away the rest at Landry's.
Yeah, it was before,
But it was cream cheese filled, and that thing was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I don't normally like I think normal king cake is so gross, it's so dry, but this was good.
I think if you get a good one, it's not dry, but that's the thing is like these like fancy ass fucking cheese and apple and butt poop filled king cakes, they're driving up the prices of other king cakes. So that's what people were complaining about. But anyway, so we had the king cake at some point. I don't remember how we got there, but we went to Carousel, and that's the big point. We got the Dewar's at Rouse's when we got the king cake earlier in the day, and we ended up at Carousel in Le Monteleone Hotel. So we find the spot with there's these two dudes and this chick sitting on these two chairs and a couch, And we walked up and we were like, hey, can we sit here?
And it was a really busy night. Like it was because it was Mardi Gras, so it was super, super packed everywhere.
Fucking insane.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this, but until Tuesday, the next day when we went out partying, but everybody parties Monday.
Yeah.
Like you party Tuesday maybe till like 7, and then you hit bourbon and you have a good time, but Monday they fucking throw down. Like that, the million people that moved to New Orleans for a week, they're not fucking around. And we found that out when we sat down with these guys, and the one dude was a cop from San Diego, and he was drinking. Katie said she was drinking espresso and pointed at the doers. So he was like, "That's cool. I'll buy you guys some drinks if I can have some espresso." And so I poured him half a glass of fucking whiskey.
Espresso the whole night.
Yeah. So I poured him half a glass of whiskey, and he was like, "I'll be right back. I'll get you guys some drinks. What do you want? Whatever." And he comes back with drinks, and we drank them. And we were sitting there chatting, and we all got a little bit toasty. And he was like, "Well, before you guys go, let me go buy you a shot." So we went to the other bar in the Carousel,
which they
that's
had
downstairs.
a big band playing Nirvana, so it smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah, so there's like a tuba and a stand-up bass and guitar and drums and all this shit, and they're just bah, 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 and everybody in the fucking bar is like jumping up and down like crazy.
I've never seen that to
that kind of cool, shit. Yeah, that was nuts. So then I think we kept drinking the Doers, but we left. This is where things get fuzzy. We left Carousel, and
I don't know what happened after that, and neither do you.
Right. So this is all puzzle pieces that I'm trying to put together, but I think we walked up past Bourbon because I thought I remembered either the House of the Dead or Voodoo or whatever at that point, but that's pretty far in the wrong direction. So then we crossed St. Charles, and I clearly remember doing that because I kind of was in and out of consciousness or whatever, but the light was green and we were rushing across the street and all this stuff. And then we ended up in this weird neighborhood where Katie was falling down.
I couldn't walk. My legs have never felt like jello. And I'm not saying, I'm not throwing accusations about if I were just drugged or anything, but I just felt like, and I don't feel like I drank more than I did the other 2 nights, so it was fucking weird. Like, my legs were completely jello. It was so difficult. I felt like I was in a dream where you're trying to run and you can't do it. It was horrible. So I fell numerous times.
Yeah. And I was trying to pick her up, and this dude is rolling by on his bike, and he gets off the bike and walks over, and he either says "What's the problem?" I can't remember what he fucking said.
I think he said, "What's the problem?"
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. And just a preface of that, I'm not sure if he was standing there talking to us before he said that or not.
Yeah, we don't know any of
because he was
shit.
I was in and out of shit. So I was like, "Hey, dude, what's going on?" And I was like, we had a little too much to drink, and I'm trying to help my wife up. And he was like, "All right." And then Katie fell again and dropped her phone. And then I dropped the bottle of Dewar's. And then the dude picks up the bottle of Dewar's and starts drinking it. And I was like, "Sure, man, you can have that. Do you want a cigarette?" And I pulled out my cigarettes, and he pulled up a crack pipe and started smoking crack. And he's all, "Nah, just crack." And then so then he picks up Katie and starts walking her away from me. And I was like, "Oh, shit, I don't know what's going on." All right, so I followed him. And we went to this apartment building's lobby where the security guard came out, and he was like, "Come in here." And so we went inside.
And it was pouring rain at this time too.
Yeah.
It was soaking
so
wet.
It started raining right after right after we got to the door of the apartment complex. And then the crackhead dude left. But the security guard was like, "You guys can chill in here for a bit." And then I think you were trying to tell me to order an Uber, but you weren't saying it or whatever. And I was super fucked up, so I was like, "Babe, you gotta fucking sober up. We gotta walk out of here, I don't know where the fuck we are." And then there was another security guard, and so they were both standing there, and we're drunk in this fucking lobby. Then, probably an hour or two, a couple residents came and went in the elevators and stuff, but probably an hour or two later, this fucking big-ass dude came in, and he was like, "Y'all gotta leave." And I was like, "Okay, dude, we'll get out of here." So we started walking out of the apartment complex, and we ended up in a park. And
did I fall again?
Yeah, you were falling in the mud because it was pouring fucking rain at this point. It's super dark, and I saw the big old green light Holiday Inn sign downtown.
Crazy. We don't know where the hell we are. We've never. We've been to New Orleans, but we don't know where the hell we are.
Yeah,
they
this
were
was our
drinking
second
all
time.
day, like taking questionable shots. You know, this is just crazy.
It was fucking nuts. So, but the thing about New Orleans is it's kind of like horseshoe shaped or U shaped or whatever. So it's kind of a curve. And so if you walk what would be straight in a grid-like city, kind of like Albuquerque, you end up in a different place than you would think because the streets all curve around. So I think that's what happened.
The other thing I must say is that people in New Orleans are super friendly. They are like I didn't run into like one rude person. You know?
Right. No, I think...
And I think even like the crackhead guy, I think he genuinely was trying to help, you know, because he got us into the apartment building.
Yeah, no, New Orleans...
I sound naive, but yeah, I only had really good interactions with everybody there.
No, Mardi Gras pro tip number 3, people are nicer than you expect or that you hear, because I was reading on the subreddit, like, don't go out after whatever time and people will shoot you and all this shit. And, you know, there were no fucking gunshots. Like, you know, it's just people being stupid. I mean, I'm sure crime happens because it's, you know, a million extra people in the city and there's a lot of poverty in the city and, you know, whatever. But I think that it's not nearly as bad as people make it out to seem. But you probably shouldn't just go wander bourbon alone if you're all drunk and shit, because I'm pretty sure someone will fucking like fuck with you.
Well, maybe bourbon's okay, but I think walking into weird neighborhoods might be.
Yeah. So then after that, it's like one of those scenes from like Spawn or Spider-Man or some shit where it's like pouring fucking rain. Katie's sitting on her knees in the mud, and I'm standing there like I don't know what the fuck to do. So then Katie was like coherent for like 2 seconds and was like, just order an Uber already. And I was all, oh fuck, I totally forgot Uber exists. So I ordered this Uber and I put in what I thought was the right hotel, but I think because my phone had water on it and I was wasted, I clicked the wrong one. So we ended up driving towards the quarter. So luckily I was sober enough to be like, hey dude, we're staying in downtown, are you driving into the quarter? And he was like, yeah, that sucks, just change the address or whatever. So once I did that, we turned it into an additional location instead of changing the address. So we ended up taking a nice little tour de France of downtown fucking New Orleans. And then we ended up back at our hotel.
Yeah, safe and sound.
Yeah.
We were pretty lucky. I mean, I still have a few bruises. I have a cut on my foot, but overall I'm good. I mean, I don't have hand, foot, mouth disease as far as I know, for all those puddles I was falling in.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, we could have ended up super fucking cold, getting in trouble for being, you know, drunk somewhere we shouldn't have been drunk.
Me falling everywhere, I mean.
Right, yeah, we could have had a bad time. And I mean, my phone's already fucked up as is, but it could have got water on it and fallen into a puddle. And not. If we hadn't been able to Uber, we would have been sitting in the cold rain at that park for fucking hours, I think.
And I think just, like he said, just take it easy, you know? It's not a race. It's not a marathon, it's a race. Or what's that cliche?
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon?
Yeah, just enjoy yourself. I mean, you don't need to be, I think you just get there's so much partying going on. There's so much like music and people having so much fun. Like, you kind of get, you know, people taking shots everywhere. Like, you just get in a party mode, and I think... Yeah. You just have to remember, you still got a whole... I mean, if you're getting wasted at 1 p.m., that's fine, but like try and have a plan a little bit and make sure your phone is charged and...
Yeah, because I had my battery charger or whatever.
Clothing.
Well, and the thing that I think is like really cool but also dangerous about Mardi Gras is like when you go out in a normal situation where you're meeting friends or something like that, there's only so many people that can encourage you to drink or buy you shots. But at Mardi Gras, everybody wants everybody to drink. So... Monday night when there's 1,000 people in Carousel and we're sitting there and everybody's like, buy shots, drink doers, drink whiskey, whatever, you get really fucked up.
Yeah, and it's the culture of it, and it's good times, and I would like to go back to New Orleans because, you know, obviously as you can hear, we didn't get to do much of the, you know, New Orleans type things that you would want to do. Yeah. But I mean, still overall, we had so much fun. I mean, we explored what we could quite a bit. And
yeah. And
the next days, I mean, we were obviously very hungover. I had that stupid wild turkey rash. So, and it was freezing yet again. I was trying to wear my Four Loko dress, but nope, that wasn't happening. So.
Well, we didn't drink. We drank Tuesday, but not that much because we both kind of made a pact like, hey, let's not end up in some weird fucking people's. So let's not be the weird people in somebody's apartment lobby.
Yeah, plus we had a really early flight, so, you know.
Yeah, on Wednesday. But
We forgot, we didn't talk about the legendary Sazeracs, yo.
so yeah, that's a good point too. I think that was
You guys need to go there. That's
Saturday
that's my
night.
favorite bar. That one's
And it's
the
near
best.
Voodoo too. The Sazerac's in the Roosevelt, and it's an old ass bar. It's where the Sazerac was invented, supposedly. I believe it. But the Sazeracs are really fucking good drinks, and they make them really well there. It's a really nice bar. They've got fantastic fucking cocktails if you're into craft cocktails. They dress really fancy. All the waiters and shit are wearing tuxedos. They were wearing white tuxes the night we went. I think everything that we did in our first trip to Mardi Gras, we did in one night.
We did.
On the second trip.
Yeah, because we were up till 3 a.m, and yeah, I mean, we learned pretty quick, I think, from the first one, the places that are good, food that's good, places to avoid.
Yeah, it took us less than 24 hours to do everything we did in like 4 days the first trip.
Tackle Box, that shitty ass fucking place.
I was really pissed at Tackle Box because we went there because we were looking for a place to get a coffee and a Bloody Mary and something to snack on
I think
Tuesday
it was just
morning.
brunch, yeah.
Yeah, so we were kind of looking for a brunch. I think it was like 1 p.m.
Well, we were both
or whatever.
hungover, and I wanted like a big ass, like just, you know, big old cheesy breakfast sandwich or just something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we go and get a table, and they're like, and this is like in my Yelp review, so we're just kind of recounting that shit because I was super pissed.
I still want to read Yelp reviews, man.
No, yeah, I could have read mine. It sums this up, but so we go to the hostess. They're like, it'll be 20 or 30 minutes. We're like, fine, that's cool. So we walk around outside. We go back. We sit at the bar, which was open seating, and the bartender's like, hey, welcome. I'll be right back to serve you guys. So then she proceeds to serve everybody else at the bar, and we waited 35 minutes at the bar, not being served or acknowledged. And then we went, the hostess was like, I got a text, your table's ready. So we went back and we sat at the table for another 25 minutes. It was an hour before our waitress came. Total from getting the table, waiting, to her coming to our table. So then she finally came, and we ordered charbroiled oysters and some other shit, shrimp and grits.
The oysters were actually pretty good there, though, weren't they?
They were, and they did the kind of thing where they have that slanted dish that Landry's has.
The bread was the best there, I must say. That was
Yeah.
good ass bread.
And I'm sure it's good on a day that's not fucking Fat Tuesday, but
yeah, we
probably
don't need, We
but-
don't need to go in too much detail. Just that if you're there, I would be careful.
Yeah, if you're in the moral of the story, I guess, is pro tip, Mardi Gras pro tip number whatever. Be wary of where you dine on Mardi Gras because places are going to be overloaded or they're going to be closed. Because we walked around after that so Tackle Box we went to, I ordered shrimp and grits. It was $23. I got a cup of grits and 3 shrimp that were those little, like, baby frozen shrimp sized shrimp. I was fucking furious.
Yeah. And if you have a plan of, you know, restaurants that you really want to go to, I would say try and go in. I don't know if the places were open on Saturday, but we should have checked that out and went to everything we wanted to on Saturday versus waiting for Monday or Tuesday. But
because later that day, Tuesday, we skipped the whatever parade that was. I can't remember. Zulu was Tuesday, and we skipped Zulu, and we went walking to find a place to eat because Bayou Beer Garden was closed, and Jacques Emo or whatever was closed. So all the places that we wanted to Uber to eat were closed for Mardi Gras. So we walked around towards the World War II Museum, and everywhere down there was closed except for some super fancy place in some hotel. That was like one of those like tasting menu places where we didn't want to eat. So we ended up going to Copper Vine.
yeah, and we got deviled eggs with, what was it?
Lump crab on top.
Yeah,
which were
that was
great.
fucking good. Somebody ate our other
And
egg.
that meal with quail and boudin, gumbo, and whatever chicken shit you had,
oh yeah, that shit was fucking
with
good.
a bottle of wine and an appetizer was less
Significantly
expensive.
cheaper.
It was cheaper than Tackle Box for fucking a cup of nasty grits and 3 shrimp.
Well, you know what we should talk about next is like legends regarding Mardi Gras. So everybody thinks every time I would post anything like me wearing beads or posting beads, I would get, messages from people, what would you do for them beads? Like just assuming that you have to flash for them. Like, let's just make it clear, nobody be flashing anybody. I mean, there's some of that going on. I guess,
there were some like people that were like body painted and naked.
Yeah, and I think we saw more of it last year. I saw more boobs last. But
that's also only on bourbon too. It's really you don't see that on like Canal or St. Charles for sure.
Like according to some things I've read on Reddit. If you pull that shit in one of the family-friendly areas outside of Bourbon, like you'll get arrested probably, or the cops don't mess around. But yeah, so let's clear that up. I know it's super exciting to think about people flashing all the time, but generally
it does happen.
It does, but it's not. They throw beads everywhere.
It ain't no girls.
All you gotta do is go. Woo! So I was telling Alex's dad, we were walking down near Cafe Du Monde, and so there's all these cars, and then he was getting pissed because he wanted beads, and I was like, all you gotta do is go, woo, come here, big boy. So I was getting, we were both like going, woo, and getting all these beads from these drivers. Some looked really, really pissed off, or actually, we were giving away beads.
No, you weren't getting beads. My dad got drunk and had a bunch of beads somehow, and there was so much traffic that he was walking up to cars and handing them a necklace.
Some of them are really happy though. They like that.
Yeah, some of them didn't want it.
People love beads. They really do.
Well, what was really funny is on Tuesday after we ate at Copper Vine, which was really good, and their wine was really good. If they make it, I don't know. But we were walking away from the parade to go to Copper Vine, I guess, and the traffic was so bad that people were like bumping the radio and getting out of their cars and dancing in the street
they were doing
in the
Kiki
traffic
challenge or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, there was that and stuff, and there were Chinese fire drills. I saw one Chinese fire drill where everybody got in the car and locked the one guy out, and then they drove a little bit and then stopped and he got back in and shit. But it's pretty crazy. I can't imagine trying to leave New Orleans on Tuesday or getting there on Tuesday. You would be fucked because the traffic is so bad. But the other thing is, like, you get there late at night. Like, our first night there, Saturday, we got to the parades on Canal super late. And, I mean, they were already cleaning up the trash. Which, if you haven't been to New Orleans and Mardi Gras, you haven't seen trash. Like, that fucking shit where they had to put those special storm inflatable things in their storm drains. Because within 5 blocks of whatever part of New Orleans, they cleaned up something like 90,000 tons of beads. Like, they had a fucking plastic problem. And one of the things that sucks about that is the plastic beads have lead in them that isn't a problem when you wear them for like 15, 20 minutes or a couple hours or whatever. But as it sits in your water, it leaches out the lead. And then you get sort of a Flint situation where you've got all this trash sitting in your sewers and your water supply and stuff, and it's just leaching out bad chemicals. So now they do like bead buybacks and bead recycling, but...
You forgot to talk, I always do this, sorry, I abruptly changed the subject, but you forgot to talk about your favorite chip that you discovered.
Oh, Chewies.
Yeah.
So, okay, so yeah, I was
He looks like Chuck E. Cheese. We should talk about the Chuck E. Cheese conspiracy next. All right.
Okay.
Let us know if you want to hear conspiracy, because we have a good guest for that. So
yeah, we'll have a conspiracy episode coming up, and we'll talk about Chuck E. Cheese. But, so, 2 things about New Orleans, too. Zapp's chips are fucking phenomenal. They make voodoo chips and gator and Cajun crawfish chips and all this shit. And they're fucking great. And that's what I bought a bunch of bags when we were walking on the end of Bourbon, and I got that bottle of whiskey. But then we're in the hotel at 3 a.m. on Saturday night or Sunday morning or whatever, and nobody was open to eat because everybody closes at 2. And all there is in the shop is these Cheeto-looking things that are baked cheese puffs, I guess. But they're like barbecue flavored, so they're kind of like barbecue Fritos,
but you can
better
get
flavored.
original or barbecue. The original are bad. I would not suggest.
They're just
those.
a little bit mellow. They're not salty snack.
They taste like feet.
I guess so. But yeah, so Chewies were Elmer's or something. Elmer's Chewies or something like that. I don't know. But those were fucking great. I ate like 4 bags of those while we were there. I mean, I ate so much fucking.
Centuries.
I was so hedonistic and shit while we were in New Orleans for that shit. But, so yeah. Then let's see. So Tuesday, we went back to the carousel. Monday it was like packed to the fucking brim, sardines jumping up and down. It smells like Teen Spirit. Tuesday it was like 30, 40 old people sitting around, like, you know, unable to walk because they've been drinking all day, but nobody was partying there. I mean, it must have been a difference of 900 fucking people.
Yeah, but then there was, you know, you go to Bourbon Street and then there was way more commotion going on. But
I mean, Monday night, they're partying in the whole quarter, all over Canal, all over St. Charles and downtown and stuff. Like, but Tuesday night, after the last parade, it fucking died everywhere except for Bourbon. And it's like walking down Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras is fucking nuts.
yeah, it's awesome. Like I'm the kind of person where I do like crowds. I know a lot of people that I've spoken with, they're like, no, hell no, I would never go to New Orleans during Mardi Gras. I hate crowds. Like, I don't know how you could do it. Yeah. I like it. I mean, I think it's
everybody's there to have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's some bad shit that happens, but everybody's there to have a good time for the most part, and it's really friendly. Like, I mean, like Katie was saying earlier, it's the people from out of town are there to have fun. The people who live there are fucking experts at doing parades and parties.
Yeah, and there are local beers. So we were talking, I don't know if I express I don't like Denver beer, but their local beer is a shit, you know?
Yeah. The Abita is one of my favorite breweries in the country.
What was the Bourbon South IPA that I kept drinking?
South. Urban South IPA.
Yeah, that was good.
Like I said earlier, I was drinking Cane Break. I don't remember what that brewery is, but it's a lighter wheat beer that's made with local sugar cane, and so it's kind of sweet, but it's got a little bit of that wheat flavor that's really good. And the other one, I mean, Abita Amber, I was drinking everywhere. That's fucking amazing. Their Doppelgator or whatever it is, Andy Gator. Andy Gator is probably one of my favorite beers that's made in America. It's a fucking fantastic drink, and it's 8%. It's like a celebrator, but fucking really high alcohol. So that's really cool. Their breweries are really good, and their bars are really nice too. Where do we go? The Blacksmith, whatever the fuck. They all got really long names and shit. But
and then I think it's beautiful there. Like, I love the architecture, the history. I mean, the food is amazing. Everything about it. I enjoy going to New Orleans. I don't know if I would go again during Mardi Gras, at least not for a long time. But
yeah, there's so much outside of that would be really cool to see. Like, I'd like to experience the city as the locals do.
Yeah. We'll get there one of these days. We got some other trips we have planned. I mean, we're going to Vegas in like 3 days, but
think it'd be cool if we did a top 5 New Orleans list.
And let us know if you would like to party with us, or if you think we sound really annoying or crazy.
Yeah.
Let us know if you think we sound like fun people to go on trips with.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think we're fun to go with?
Well, I think, yeah, because I go. Yeah, I think we're fun. Ask the cop from San Diego who was buying us shots, and ask the crackhead who escorted us to the apartment lobby.
Everybody was just too drunk that was being nice to us.
I think it was just that people were nice there. I don't know. But anyway, let's do this top 5 list.
All right. So we just listed 5 things. They're not in any order at all, and we're probably missing a bunch. So the first thing that we put was the Sazerac, because we loved that place.
Yeah, it's a cool bar. It's got a lot of history and a lot of really good cocktails.
It's just a chill place to sit. Do they have, like, food there? I can't remember. I know they have little popcorn
snacks.
Balls or bowls or whatever.
Yeah, they give you, like, bar snack peanut things.
Are popcorn, as a little, people keep serving those at bars. Is that, like, the new hipster thing? The new hipster snack? Are those the new Texas Roadhouse peanuts?
Not more Mardi Gras pro tip. Other life pro tip. Fucking cook a goose in the winter and then save all the fat that comes off of it and make popcorn with that goose fat, because it will change your fucking life.
Or grilled cheese, supposedly.
Or grilled cheese.
So, did you want to elaborate on more of the Sazerac?
No, that's okay. What's number 4 on our list?
Well, we put oysters on there. So, just forewarning, I don't like raw oysters. I like charbroiled oysters. I don't like...
Which is what New Orleans does. I don't remember seeing that anywhere. Like, we've eaten oysters in Philly and Seattle and Portland and fucking LA. Like, everywhere that we've been that has a coast. Key West and fucking wherever it is in South Carolina. But, charbroiled oysters... appear to be a southern thing that's done really well in New Orleans.
Yeah, it's great. I don't think I could eat oysters any other way now.
Yeah, and if you haven't, they do barbecue oysters.
We have fried oysters too.
I love fried oysters. Yeah, those are fucking amazing. I love oysters altogether. That's like I've been known to say that if I could live off oysters, I would have raw oysters for breakfast, fried oysters for lunch, and charbroiled for dinner.
You should do one of those documentaries and only eat oysters for a month, and this is what happened. Yeah. And then have like 5 different doctors informing you.
Yeah, and they're like, your sex drive has gone fucking off through the roof. It's supposedly an aphrodisiac, but I think that's a myth.
No, they could tell you, like, and then it's just a propaganda film for oysters, so that like all the medical stuff and then psychological stuff is, super positive.
Well, I think the problem with oysters is they clean up dirty shit in the water, so they kind of get like mercury or something, just like other fish, I guess, any seafood that you eat. But yeah, oysters, the charbroiled, they're like in butter, they're usually like in a dish or on a grill or whatever with butter and cheese and a thing of spices and sometimes like panko or breadcrumbs or something like that. So they've got a really good texture. When it's too cheesy,
it's a little overwhelming.
I don't like when they're so cheesy that they're stuck to the shell and they're a bitch to get off. But Royals had really good charbroiled oysters.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's that for oysters. We also put etouffee on here. So that was my favorite food. There's really not much to say about that. Just
etouffee? There's tons to say about etouffee. Why do you think that?
Except I wonder if Tammy Faye liked it.
Tammy Faye?
She's the evangelical.
Oh, Tammy Faye, Tina Faye, and all them Fays. But I like it. I think it's really good. Crawdad etouffee is really good, like dumped over a big old thing of catfish, like blackened or whatever catfish. That's always really nice.
I'm just going to be really sad because I don't know where to get that here in Albuquerque.
There used to be a restaurant called No Orleans that had really good fried oysters too. And they shut down when the art project started.
Fuckers.
But it was a combination of nobody going there because of art, and the guy who owned it lived in the apartment building across from the restaurant, and they got overrun by like heroin addicts shooting up all over the place.
Oh man.
Yeah, so Nob Hill had a really big problem with that. I knew a lady who owned a shop next to Nolans, and it was a boutique fabric shop, and she was saying that she had to move because there were people that she would go to throw something away and there'd be people passed out by her dumpster. She would get in the morning, there'd be people passed out in her doorway into her shop, and they were leaving their needles everywhere. It was pretty crazy. I didn't know we had that kind of problem in Nob Hill. But
seems like we do everywhere.
Yeah. See, I don't think you can get etouffee here anymore.
Probably at Papa Dough.
I don't know if they do that.
Is Papa Dough like a New Orleans? Like what kind of restaurant is that?
They're like supposedly French fine dining, whatever the fuck they are. It's a shitty chain.
See, the type of people who talk shit about us, ironically liking Applebee's. I mean, we don't actually like love Applebee's, but I guess a lot of people think we really do. But whatever. But yet they like Papa Dough. I mean,
if you don't, comment on our website, videos, whatever, and let us know. Do you like Papa Dough or Applebee's? And should we change our opinion on that shit? Change my mind. But what's number 2 on our list?
We also said open carry alcohol. So I think that's a big thing. That makes your trip much more enjoyable.
Well, I think it's like kind of archaic or whatever to have it like America's alcohol rules are fucking stupid. Like, I mean, who gives a shit if you take a drink? Like, if I have a can of beer, I should be able to carry it, like, from shop to shop while I'm in a mall or whatever, like, and the fact that, like, you can't buy beer on Sundays or Sundays before noon or whatever, some places and stuff like that, like, it's so fucking far behind. And when I'm in the quarter, going from bar to bar and restaurant to restaurant, I mean, carrying a plastic cup of beer, getting a to-go cup, that's fucking sweet.
Might be better, too, just because you're, like, it's allowing you more time to drink your drink, which I think point. With a lot of restaurants or bars, you feel pressured to, like, chug something or get a shot. But I think if you, like, okay, well, I'm going to walk and, like, actually relax and enjoy this drink. Maybe, I don't know.
That's a really good point.
Or maybe it's worse because you don't have food and water with you and you're just like...
Well, you can have water. You can open carry water anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not, you don't have somebody serving you.
But that's a good point. Like, you might not necessarily, like, usually when you take a shot, it's because, I mean, you want to take a shot and get drunk. But there's also that, like you said, pressure. Like, oh, we're going to leave.
Let's get out of here. Yeah, let's take a shot.
Let's take a shot before we go.
Which is what happened to us at Carousel, and the rest is history.
Well, that wasn't pressure, though. That was us trying to get wasted. But, yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, open carrying beer and cocktails and stuff like that is more leisurely. Like, you can carry a beer.
And I don't see why they wouldn't want you, because then you're going into the little shops and you're probably gonna, impulsively buy things. So it's better for everybody.
Well, and it's something like $167 million every Mardi Gras that people bring into New Orleans. So it's pretty crazy, the amount of money. I'm sure 90% of that's fucking alcohol. Yeah. Or, well, I guess most of it would be the food, because more people eat. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know.
Are we on the last item already?
I think we are. Let's see.
Through the list.
Oh, the last but not least, cream cheese king cake.
Oh, king cake. I would just say king cake in general, but I know you don't like
cream cheese.
Yeah.
I'm going to be dreaming about it. I had a dream about it yesterday, so.
You'll have to make some for us.
Yeah, well, I'll make a YouTube video of me doing it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We might start doing cooking videos. Let us know if you want us to do cooking videos.
Yeah, more mukbangs too. Sorry guys, I've been slacking. I've just been having a really busy month, but I'd like to do one at least, tomorrow before we leave. But
well, and aside from what we haven't been doing, what we are doing is we've got a trip to Las Vegas next week, so we're doing a Las Vegas episode, and it's for a wedding because it's wedding season almost, or maybe. And then we'll talk about weddings too.
Yeah, we could talk about our wedding. Yeah. All the fun stuff about that.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Las Vegas and throw in a little bit of a back history of Katie and Alex. And after that, we've got a conspiracy theory episode coming up with a pretty adamant conspiracy theorist that we know. We've also got an episode about pot that I think I've mentioned before. We've got a buddy who co-owns, I guess, a THC medical manufacturing business here in Albuquerque. So we want to talk to him. And so we've got some really good episodes coming up. Other than that, we'll probably be posting the really quick behind the scenes video of New Orleans, because like Katie said on her Instagram, it was raining the whole fucking time.
Yeah, I didn't get that. That's one thing I was sad about. I didn't get that many pictures. I didn't even get to do that.
Yeah, it was kind of, well, and also I didn't really think about it, and most of the time my phone was dying. It was like, I need to get a better phone.
I think we need to be grateful that I was pretty sure, because I have this like nasty huge gash in my phone on the front screen, and I've just been waiting for it to just explode, and I thought New Orleans would have been the moment, but it's still, especially since supposedly it fell a whole bunch. There's this lady that stepped on my phone too near Cafe Mon.
Oh man, on the cobblestone street too, or whatever, of the quarter.
Yep.
That sucks.
She's a strong one.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've got a bunch coming up in the future. We've got a lot planned for the podcast, and we're gonna have some guests. As soon as we settle down with our travel, we're gonna have a couple more guests, a lot more guest hosts on.
Well, would you like to talk real quick just about how to recover from a trip like that? I mean, you have any pro tips for people who, need going on a huge trip and they want to find a way to unwind and, kind of detox from that?
Detox from a big old party? Like, you mean hangover?
Or just any big trip that took a lot of energy out of you?
Well, for me, the first thing I do is like, I spend whatever remainder of the day or days when I get back just like chilling or whatever, and try to get slowly back into doing like housework and chores and stuff. And then as soon as, I guess, sooner than I'm ready, I do like going back to work, because that kind of gets you like, it's like jumping into a cold pool.
Yeah, we went right back to work, which I need to stop doing that.
We got back Wednesday and both went to work Thursday morning.
Yeah, and I did have to leave because I just felt so shitty. But I don't know if you guys can tell, I have a little raspy voice. I have developed a cough now. I don't know if it's whooping cough. I don't know if it's hand, foot, mouth disease.
Well, we're vaccinated and we're pro-vaccination. So one of the things
Hey, speak for yourself. Just kidding.
Oh, wow. One of the things that I wanted to do in the future is a Q&A video on YouTube, maybe a live stream or something like that. But we need your guys' support in doing this kind of stuff. So if you guys would check out our website, accidentallyfasting.com, or our like main hub of activity, anchor.fm/accidentallyfasting, you can support us by, I guess donating money or whatever the fuck. But you can also leave us messages so that we can have you on the show asking questions or something like that, or if you have comments. I'd like to get some messages from folks who are listening to this and put them at the end of each episode or something.
Yeah, and I think another cool idea was we should do like an Instagram poll or something, or more interactive. So, next time we do a podcast after we have all our planned ones, we can hear more from you, what you guys want to hear.
Yeah, so we'd really like to start tailoring our content to what folks want to hear. And one of the best ways to do that is follow us on Instagram at accidentallyfasting and hit us up.
Leave comments, just be interactive with us. It's the best thing. We love hearing from you guys.
Yeah. And if you want to privately communicate with us right now,
you can DM us your wieners if you want.
Yeah, but probably not though, if you don't mind, because I manage that page and I don't want to see any dicks. Whatever. But whatever. The other thing is, if you want to privately reach out to us and you don't have social media and you aren't on our website, accidentallyfasting.com, and you don't want to go to anchor.fm/accidentallyfasting, you can email us for the time being at accidentallyfasting@gmail.com. So there's tons of ways to get in touch with us. You guys know how. Thank you so much for listening, and we really appreciate your support. We're looking forward to doing the Las Vegas episode in the near future. Hope you liked this one.
Yeah, and like I said, thank you so much for listening, and hope you learned something about New Orleans.
Yeah, and hope you make it down there sometime for Mardi Gras if that's your thing. Otherwise, keep calm and fast on.
Okay, that's good. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.